Hello guys, welcome to Miss Speak Clothing. So we are about to make a top. Yeah, so I'm using a lace for that purpose. And so basically the things that you need to get started with cotton is your scissors, your tape, your chalk, and the choice of fabric that you are working with. But for the sake of this work, I would recommend that you use a lace fabric because there's a particular design we are trying to create. So you spread out your fabric like I am doing, and then I'm trying to take the measurement of what I have. I discovered that I have 24 inches in width. So you fold your fabric in two like you see me doing. Then you further fold it into four. Then try to make sure that the edges are aligned. They are aligned together. Make sure that you align the edges together like you see me trying to adjust, so that I wouldn't have issues when I am cutting. So I'm taking my time to make sure that the edges are well aligned. Mind you, you're going to be using your chalk on the wrong side of the fabric. Still confirm that they are well lined. Then this part is the midpoint of the fabric. That's where your front neckline is going to be placed. So I'm trying to check for the length because I'll be working with 22 inches. So I have 22 and a half. So I'm only trying to trim the edges to give me the freedom to really have a straight measurement once I am measuring. So you cut out the edge, then I'm done cutting it. So back to our measurements, to trying to confirm that's the middle part of our dress. These are the edges, this part that you see me touch. The first thing I'm going to take is my shoulder measurement. My shoulder is 16. When you divide 16 by 2, you get 8. So that is the 8 you see me mark here. And then exactly on that 8 on that point that we had, you're going to go down again by 8 inches. That will be your armhole. And so on the mark of the armhole that you marked, you're going to still take your 8 inches measurement, which is your shoulder that you measured at the upper part of your fabric. Then get a ruler and link the points together like you see me do. So another measurement I'm going to take, first of all, I'm going to be taking my chest line or armhole, which is the 8 that you see me mark, and 16 inches, which is my half cut. And then you make a straight line from the both edges so that they meet at the both edges. You also roll this line, this chest line, like you see me do. So that is my chest line, and this is my waistline, or my half cut. So you take your bust measurement on the chest line like you see me doing. So 36 divided by 4 is 9. That is what you just saw me mark. Then on my waistline or my half cut line, that is where my tape is placed. I'm going to take 7 inches because my waist is 28. So you divide your waist by 4, you would get 7. And so I am adding extra 1.5 inch allowance. Not really an allowance, I'm adding 3 inches to my waistline because it's not a fitted top. We are not making a fitted top, so I'm adding 3 extra inches. So on my hip line, I am going to be taking 10 inches because it is not fitted. And so I'm adding extra 1 inch to it. So you just take your armhole curve, you curve it upwards. Then the neckline, I am using 3 inches in width and 5 inches in depth. I'm going to be cutting both the back and the front neck together. So you use your free hand to link the 2 points like you see me linking like this. Then there's what we call the shoulder slanting. The shoulder slanting, you go down by 1 inch and you link it to your neckline like you see. Then connect all of the points that you've measured, and then that is it. So you cut the neckline, the shoulder slant, the armhole, and the body of your top or blouse. And then I had to use because of the less fabric I was working with, I had to improvise. So at the edge of your fabric, by the sides where you will join, you go up by 1.5, and then you curve it just so you don't have a sharp edge like you see me cut out. So we're done with our cutting. So this is what it looks like after the cutting. So guys, take a look at it. This is it. So coming to sewing, you're going to sew one part of the shoulder together. Remember, you are sewing right side to right side. This is the other side. Then after joining one part of the shoulder, you use your bias stripe, I don't know what you like to call it, and then add an edge of the bias stripe to the edge of the neck of your blouse, and then you sew it like you see me illustrating in my hands. I do not want to use a pin to hold it down. I just hope you understand what I'm trying to explain. So I'm done fixing one side or one edge of the bias together. So you flip over, you turn it over to the other side like you see me doing. You are flipping it over to the wrong side of your fabric, the inside of your fabric. That is where you are turning the bias into, like you see me. So you sew around it. I was done sewing it, so this is what it looks like. I am done joining it. So it's time to join the second shoulder. So you hold the two together like this and you sew. I am done joining the second shoulder. So this time we're going to do the same thing that we did to the neck. We're going to extend the same thing to the armhole. So I am done with the armhole. You can see the inside, see the other side of it. Now it's time to join our sides together. So one side of your fabric together, you join it like you see, and then the other side. And then I added just 1 inch allowance. So you take a 1 inch sewing. Now I'm done. This is our top is ready for use. So this is the outcome, showing you the side seam. This is the other side of the blouse or top. Now you can either fold it in or trim the edges. So if you don't have a good edge of a lace, you can decide to just sew it, but I'm going to just trim just the edges to give me some shapes like you can see on my lace. I'm only going to just trim the edges